Thank you very much, Hannah, for inviting me here. It's really a tremendous chus as we approach Shavuos, which is really, this is Matan Torah, and we have an opportunity to enact Matan Torah for Hashem's children every single day. And we know that Hashem gave the Torah to Bnei Yisrael with on condition. He needed guarantors. He needed a guarantee that the Torah would actually be kept. And the only guarantee that Hashem would accept is the guarantors of the children. But what it means that the children are the guarantors is that they will be taught the Torah. Someone's going to have to teach them. Who's teaching them? So certainly the parents. And on top of that, of course, those who are teaching Torah are ensuring that Torah is that the guarantors are doing their job, and Torah is continued amongst Klal Yisrael. And so we really have the tremendous chus of upholding the continuity of Torah. And so it's really a chus for me to be able to be part of this Farbrengen. You know, those sometimes on the first day of school or something, you give out these little, what do they call it? Like little stickers or tags that say, who am I, or my name, or such. And it might just say their name so they can get to know each other in a new classroom. What is our goal in chinuch? I know you asked this question before, Hannah. What's our goal? The Rebbe says a very, very fascinating thing, defining the goal of chinuch. And the Rebbe says like this: the goal of chinuch is legalois b'mechunachim, to reveal within the children. I'm going to say children, right? Within whoever is being educated, to reveal within the students the chelek eleka mimal mamash behem, the part of the Eibishter, literally, the literal part of the Eibishter that is within them. The goal is to reveal that to the point that this pintele yid, this chelek eleka, will express itself and inform and guide and translate into their actual machshava dibra maisa, that the child or student will actually act in a way, what they will think, they will speak, and they will act, or to put it the other way, they will act and they will even speak and they will even think and feel in a way that is aligned with their true identity. The identity being, hello, my name is Chelek Eleka Mimal Mamash. Our goal when we walk into the classroom is that a child should walk out feeling like, who am I? At my core, who am I really? I am a part of the Eibishter. I'm his representative here in this world. And therefore, it's so natural and so obvious, and my greatest chus and pleasure, that I am going to speak and act and think like a yid, of course, because Torah mitzvahs are just the natural expression, certainly most ultimate self-expression for chelek eleka mimal mamash. The 12 psukim that the Rebbe teaches us that every child should know by heart. Often we think of as psukim that they know the words, and that's really important because they're certainly holy words. And we know lahashbis oyev misnakim, that the words of Torah coming from children have incredible power to affect the safety of Klal Yisrael. At the same time, there's so much depth that the Rebbe teaches us is contained within these psukim of chinuch lessons and meaning that they absorb consciously and subconsciously. And I want to explore a couple of points that the Rebbe teaches in connection with the pasuk Torah Tziva, as well as the pasuk Shema, and how they inform our goal here of helping children connect to the Naisin HaTorah, which in other words really means helping them connect with their true essence, because they are a part of Hashem. The pasuk Torah Tziva is Torah Tziva Lanu Maisha, the Torah that Moshe commanded us. My Rasha Kilas Yaakov is my inheritance, as Kilas Yaakov is as part of the children of Am Yisrael, the children of Yaakov Avinu. What is an inheritance? An inheritance means not a gift, not a purchase. It's something that automatically belongs to me because I'm in this family. Why does the Torah automatically belong to every yid? Because we are children of Hashem. The pasuk Torah Tziva lets us know, hello, my name is part of the Eibishter. I'm his child. If I'm a child of Hashem, then the Torah, which is hu v'chachmasei echad, it's one with Hashem, is mine automatically. So the pasuk Torah lets us know a few things. Number one, I'm a child of Hashem. It doesn't seem to be connected with Torah, but everything about Torah and Hashem come together. The Torah is yours because you're one with Hashem, because you're Hashem's child and a part of Him. Therefore, the Torah is yours because the Torah is one with Hashem. And then because it's yours, the Rebbe says something interesting. Children, everything is mine. Mine, my toy. There goes example. My toy, my things, my whatever they find is mine, right? I want it. They express as it's mine. They found a candy, or they found, anything to play with in the classroom. They say mine at a young age, and they really mean I want it, but they say mine. And when it actually is theirs, they have this a special affinity for it, which is why the Rebbe encourages us to have a chumash, tehillim, siddur, tzedakah pushka with the child's name on it, because something that's mine is precious to me, and therefore I want to use it. And the Rebbe goes on and says actually that a child will have a play date and have a friend come to his house, and we're going to, and they'll come to their room and they'll say, oh, what's that? And oh, this is my siddur, look at my pushka. And the child will come home, and the other child will come and say, oh, can I have one also? My friend has such and such. Because when it's mine, it's all very personal. I'm sure that, those in preschool, when you want to make a project that the children will actually keep and the parents will actually keep, you put the child's picture in somewhere in the project, and then it's like, Bal Yaver, you may not ever throw it in the garbage. Anything that we help the child recognize this is mine helps create this deep connection with whatever we're learning. So my Rosh Hashanah Yaakov, the first thing we're saying is the Torah is yours, Yiddish child. Why is it yours? Because you're a child of the Eibishter. And so a couple of points we have here. One, talking about Hashem. I'll get to that in a moment, and how always connecting the Torah to Hashem. And then connecting the Torah to the child and helping personalize it. So on the topic of connecting it to Hashem, just envision this, right? You walk into a classroom and you say, okay, let's pick any random grade, 5th grade. All right, good morning, girls. We're up to the subject of Chumash. Please open your Chumash. All right, that's the subject. A child has many subjects, lahavdil. There's Chumash, there's math, they're all the things. Yes, my favorite subject, not my favorite subject, whatever. We'll do the subject. Now let's try another scenario. You walk into the classroom on the first day. I know we're towards the end of the year, but just pick an example of the first day, and as we think going forward, but certainly there's a way of doing this at the end. But imagine it's the first time you're learning Chumash for the year, after you started off and you did Yom Tif and whatever introductory things. It's the first day of Chumash, and you have some special decorations in the classroom, on the desks or on the wall or on, wherever. And you say, good morning, girls. Today is such a special day. Does anyone know why today is such a special day? And they're trying to guess, and they have no idea because it's a big surprise. And maybe you close the lights, and maybe, I don't know, whatever effects that you do, and there's a whole drama going on. And then you start telling them a story. One special day, it was a Shabbos, and the world was quiet and still. And you make this whole dramatic presentation about how Hashem was ready to give this special treasure that is his, and that's right. And he held onto it, and the Malachim said, no, don't give it to anyone. It belongs up here in Lamaila. It's a special treasure only for us. And Hashem said, no, I want people in this world to have it and to use it, but I need to find the right people. And he finally, right, and I'm going to, shorten the story. Of course, it could take forever. And, and he suddenly... There were Yidden, and they said, we want this treasure. But Hashem said, I don't know. I'm not sure I could give it to you. Are you going to appreciate it? And are you going to use it? And they said, yes, we will. We for sure. The Rabbanim, they're going to learn Torah. And Hashem said, I don't know. I'm not sure that's a good enough guarantee. Okay. They said, maybe the Tatis, they'll go to a shir. Not so sure. That's not a good enough guarantee, just that the Tatis are going to share. And they tried everyone, maybe this one and maybe that one. And then the Yidden said, we have an idea. The Meidlach in Kita Hay of base whatever, Beno such and such, whichever school your class is, they're going to learn Hashem's Torah every morning. Is that good enough? And guess what Hashem said? Yes, that's a guarantee. I'm going to give the Torah to Klal Yisrael because the Meidlach in this class are committing to learn it every day. Are you ready? Are we ready to learn Hashem's Torah that he gave us as a gift? Right? And an inheritance and on. And just imagine the faces and just imagine the feelings that you're learning the Torah that Hashem gave and is giving. Actually, we can keep going on. We can do this every day. Right now is our Matan Torah moment because Hashem gives us the Torah every day, actually. Every day, kechadashim, like new. So today, right now is Matan Torah in our classroom. Right now, Hashem is giving us the Torah. Let's see what Hashem is teaching us today. Just imagine that. Matan Torah. Hashem is learning with them. Bringing that language in. Hashem is learning with us. What does the Pirkei Avos say? That when someone sits down and learns Torah, if it's 2, if it's 3, right? Each Mishnah goes on to different things, even if it's 1. But certainly if it's more than 1, if it's 10, right? The more the number, the greater it is, the presence of the Shekhinah here with us. So we're learning Torah. And Hashem, you can quote the Pirkei Avos, Hashem is sitting there and learning right with us. The Shekhinah is with us as we learn the Torah. We can share with them when we're learning the Rebbe's Sikha that when we learn the Torah of a Rebbe, the Rebbe is right here with us, helping them recognize that Torah and Hashem are one. Anoichi Hashem Elokecha, Ono Nafshi Ksavis Yehavis. The word Anoichi represents I, the Eibishter, write myself into the Torah. When we're learning Torah, we're getting this huge hug. We're taking Hashem in with us with this incredible unity. Hashem is now inside our brain and hugging us because we're doing a mitzvah. There's this wondrous unity you don't get anywhere else because you're learning Hashem's Torah. Wow. Who wants to learn math? Who wants to learn it? Now, I don't, of course, certainly if we're teaching secular subjects, we can find a way to bring Hashem in as well. But I'm saying from the perspective of what a child should want to learn, there should be nothing more exciting than the opportunity right now to have this one-on-one bonding experience with Hashem by learning him, in fact, by learning him. Torah tziva lanu Maisha. This Torah that we're learning is my inheritance because I'm a child of Hashem. It is precious to me because I realize that Hashem, the Yidden, and Torah were one. Yisrael, Ayraisa, V'Kudshabrichu, Kulachad. They're inseparable. Shema, comes the pasuk of Shema. Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hashem Elokeinu. We don't say Hashem is the God. We say Hashem hu Elokim at times, Yom Kippur, that's true. Hashem is the God, but he's not only the Eibishter. Hashem Elokeinu. This tefillah that we say every single day, twice a day, reminds a child, reminds an adult, reminds every Yid that Hashem is my Eibishter. Elokeinu. He's ours. It's personal. Hashem is my personal Eibishter. What does it mean that he's my personal Eibishter? It means, and then we go on, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Aleph, Ches, Dalid. Aleph, the one Hashem, who is everything. He is all of existence. Everything that happens comes from him, Bashgacha Pratis. There is nothing that happens in my life that is not being dictated by him and orchestrated by him for my good. Ches, Dalid, Ches, in the 7 heavens and 1 earth. Dalid in the 4 directions, everywhere, the entire world. Hashem is everywhere. So wherever I go, Hashem is Elokeinu. He's there for me. Whatever happens in any situation, Hashem Elokeinu. Hashem is directing my life. Me Hashem etzadei gever kainanu. So Hashem loves me. Hashem, that's a message a child should get from Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hashem is my personal Hashem. He cares about me. He knows me. He's not just the Eibishter. He's mine. He knows me. He knows my feelings. We can do this when we daven. We can mention I did this for a while with my children before we started davening. Little kids on Shabbos morning, we would go around, and before we started davening, we'd say, let's share something we want to thank Hashem for. And we go, Ich dank Hashem for meine süße Kinderlach. I thank you, Hashem, for my wonderful children, and different things. And they would say, thank you, Hashem, for whatever they wanted to say. They could say, thank you, Hashem, for this. Thank you, Hashem, for my house. Thank you, Hashem, for my toys. Whatever they wanted. We did a couple of rounds of that, and then we went, Ich bet Hashem. What do you want to daven? Ask Hashem for today, and whatever came to mind, we would say that. And of course, daven for Mashiach, and then we would start davening and help them recognize, and there's so many ways to do this, but to help them realize that it's not an Eibishter somewhere high up in the sky, and there are mitzvahs, and they're nothing to do with me. It's my Eibishter. He's listening to me. He knows me and my concerns and my feelings, and he loves me and is taking care of me. And everything that is happening, and every mitzvah that he gives me, and everything that's going on in the world, Hashem is thinking of me, and it's personal. It also means that every pasuk in Torah is personal, because Hashem is a lekeinu. So the same Eibishter that is my Eibishter gave me the Torah, Anoichi Hashem Elokecha. He gave us the Aseres HaDibros and said, I am your Eibishter, and he goes on to give us the Aseres HaDibros. Every pasuk is, the Rebbe says so many times, Torah. The word Torah is miloshen hayra'ah. The word Torah comes from the word teaching. So the Shirish is teaching. The Torah is teaching you something, which means in a personal and a Hashem Elokeinu way, Hashem is teaching you, the individual child, something right now. Let's see what Hashem is teaching us today. Note the difference from what does the pasuk say, or what can we learn from the pasuk, to what is Hashem teaching me today. Just bringing in Hashem into the sentence and bringing in to me in the sentence. Make that connection between Hashem, Torah, and the student. And then we can find a way. Every single pasuk, every single story in Torah, every single mitzvah, every Mishnah Pirkei Avos is saying something to me. I was learning, I try to learn every Shabbos between Pesach and Rosh Hashanah with my girls Pirkei Avos in the afternoon, and we were learning a Mishnah. And B'Hashgacha Pratis, the particular Mishnah that we started with was the other week was the first Mishnah, Ezu Chacham, Ezehu Gibar, Ezehu Ashir, etc. We talked about, same Mishnah that we've learned many times. We tried to discuss and bring about it and its relevance to us in some examples. And, we elaborate on Ezu Ashir and the way we think we want things and what makes us happy and being grateful and on and on. And it was nice, Baruch Hashem. A little later, it happened to be, it just turned out that one of my daughters expressed something about like, oh, I wish this or something, if only we would have whatever, whenever it came up. I said, wait, do you hear what you just said? The Mishnah was talking to you, right? Let's make up her name, right? So it's going to be me, Chanie, right? So the Mishnah was talking exactly to you, Chanie, today. And let's see, what did the Mishnah tell you? And right, with a big smile, we kind of reflected. And it wasn't just like a nice idea. The Mishnah said something. Who is Ezu Asher, Samech B'chelka, a rich person, blah, 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 is someone who's happy with who we had. We can all say that with what they had. But when we reflect, wait, the Mishnah was talking to me. Hashem was telling me something. So now we have a personal example, and Hashem has a lesson for me, and it's a whole different story. And of course, we all smiled, and the message got through, Baruch Hashem. And when we can do that more and notice that every single thing that Hashem says in Torah is a hayra'ah for every individual, every individual child, every child of Hashem, there is a specific message that's there for them in a different way. And helping the children reflect, what does the pasuk tell us? What is Hashem teaching us? How can we apply this? Really can help them develop this bond with the Torah that's really theirs. Bring out that bond, that merasha kilas Yaakov, that it's their inheritance, that they find themselves in it, their chelik in Torah, by really seeing themselves in it and bringing the language of constantly of Hashem everything. Hashem tells us, simply, there are things we take for granted. We assume that when we teach them, for example, a halacha, that's the halacha. What's halacha? I don't know, the halacha. This may sound extreme, but just to express how sometimes things come across, I was talking once with a young woman from another community, not a Lubavitcher community, not to say it can't happen by us either, but she shared her struggles with Yiddishkeit and, and how she was really struggling to find her place and where she wanted to go. And various concerns. And at one point she expressed very painfully, and I can't forget this. She says, you know, where I come from, it's a godless religion. The halacha, it's just the halacha. It was so sad to hear, because what's the halacha? The Eibishter, we're taught the Eibishter has nothing in this world, elo daled amis shel halacha, other than the 4 amis of halacha, meaning halacha is where Hashem is. Halacha is teaching us what Hashem wants from us. That's where he is. That's where he helps us find his home in this world, is by teaching us how to serve him and how to connect to him. But if we don't actually and directly make that connection, we can miss it. It's just, that's what we do. That's the halacha. Of course, it's obvious, but it's not necessarily. So just remembering to say, you know, when a child says, but why? Why do we have to? Or why can't we? Remembering to start the conversation always with Pashut, with the word Hashem, with Eibishter. Let's start the answer or start the lesson with, okay, so Hashem tells us, right? Or Hashem wants us to rest on Shabbos. So Hashem wants us to serve him, or we're here to serve Hashem. And therefore, you know, I heard once an expression that every speaker has one talk. You can ask them to talk about whatever you want. I heard, you know, Mrs. Feller recently, she was saying something about art, right? Everyone's got their thing, and whatever they're passionate about, no matter what you ask them to speak about, they're going to say the same thing, right? It's just, it's fascinating. It all boils down to the same thing, because it's what you're living with that's going to come across. And all of Torah is one thing. Eibishter, certainly all of Chassidus helps us recognize that. Chassidus helps us recognize in Ed Movadei that every single thing is Eibishter. That's all it is. That's the bottom line. So really, whatever we're teaching, every part of Torah, every single message, whatever we have to say, should really come back to the same talk. When a child asks, why do I need to do this? Or why do I have to be tzniistic? And what's wrong with listening to whatever music? And what, you know, on a teacher's level, right? They go, why can't we do this? And what's wrong with that? There's one answer to everything. It starts like this. We're here in this world to serve Hashem. And our neshama, right? In order to serve Hashem, our neshama has to be connected and alive. And therefore, when we do this or that, that helps us express our neshama and helps us connect to Hashem or do our avodah. Whatever, it makes it harder, etc. Okay, now let's discuss how or why. But then it's a different conversation. It's not what's wrong with it. It's okay, there's either I'm helping fulfill myself, connect to Hashem and fulfill my mission of making a dir b'tachtainim, or I'm not. So for example, just as a brief example, to give this one for the older age levels, when tznius comes up, you know, tznius, and it's so hard, and what's wrong with this, and what's wrong with wearing that, and we get into the details of, is this wrong, is it not wrong? My mother said, my Shvia said, my sister said, people say, let's go back. In Shulchan Aruch, there isn't that much written about tznius, but one thing that is written out clearly, not that all of the Torah Sheba'al Peh exists for a reason, it doesn't have to be written, but from what is written is pretty interesting, that the Shulchan Aruch tells us about tznius in the context actually of privacy, that we should get dressed in a tzniistic way, that even when we're in private and no one sees us, we should be careful to dress and undress undercover, right? And why? Because it helps us foster recognition that Hashem is with me, even in a cheder within a cheder, in a room within a room, and the door could be closed and locked. It doesn't matter. Hashem is with me. I'm in Hashem's presence. And finishes off in a powerful statement, Vat's tznius va'aboishes, tznius, edelkeit, refinement, a little bit of inhibition, mevinas adam lidei achna lefanav yisbarach shmai. Bring a person to achna. It brings a person to humility, to bittul in front of the Eibishter. Because if you have to act right now, we're, you know, if my camera's on or anyone else's camera's on, you realize people are watching me. Careful, you have to be dressed properly, or you have to act properly. People are looking at you. If you act the same way with no one around, you're reminding yourself in a very tangible way, Hashem is watching. Otherwise, why am I doing this? So it reinforces Yiras Shamayim. Now, if we give that introduction to tznius, most of the what's wrong with this or what's wrong with that falls away, because the question is, tznius is there to help us foster our Yiras Shamayim. It's there to help us remember that we're in the presence of Hashem. Does this pass? Does it express respect for Hashem? Does it enhance my respect for Hashem? Et cetera, et cetera. And it's a different conversation. And I think this is true about every single topic, every single question, every halacha, every parsha, everything. When we bring it home to, on the one hand, to recognizing the Noisin HaTorah, to first and foremost, what is this halacha? What is this mitzvah? What is going on here? We're here to serve Hashem and find out what Hashem wants from us. Hashem is teaching us here what he wants. And not just us in general, me personally, I, as a child of Hashem, Hashem is talking to me in my life, making that connection, Hashem, the Yid, and the Torah, talking in that language, finding where's the Nakuda of Hashem here, where's the Nakuda of the relevance to the child, and bringing all three together really can help a child actually feel like when I'm learning this, anything, this pasuk in Navi, this halacha in Shulchan Aruch, right now I am standing at Har Sinai with Kolos Ibrakim, and Hashem is giving the Torah to me. And if Hashem is giving the Torah to me, I want nothing more than to receive it, accept it, fulfill it, and actually use it to bring Mashiach. So l'chaim, that we should all find tremendous hatzlacha in our incredible avodah of facilitating Matan Torah every single day for our children, and be able to experience the culmination of Matan Torah, which is actually supposed to finish with the not just the engagement, but the marriage of Yidden and the Eibishter with Mashiach now.